this land is my land. We go to Puglia. This is where my family come from my father's side. And I am a kind of a strange Italian because I was born in Milan. I lived in Ferrara, then in Rome for 30 years. So when people ask me, where are you from? I say Milan, but it doesn't really belong to me, Milan. It's a city that I don't like. I have a bit of the attitude, the pragmatic approach I have with the job and so on. But I kind of I'm a son of the entire Italy. I somehow feel home when I go to Puglia. Puglia is a place that all the smells and flavors, and la focaccia, and the panzerotto, and the cime di rape, which is a local secret, and so on. Even though when it comes to wine with Puglia, I was struggling a bit. We worked beautifully with Polvanera, with Pietraventosa, with Chiaramonte, with Gianfranco Fino, maybe Dara Pri, there is another winemaker. But it's difficult for me to select good wine from Puglia. You have to know that most of south of Italy used to be the warehouse of alcohol. There's a lot of sun, and there was a big need of grape, and so it was about overproducing there. And so there is this flat land, especially in the Salento, that produce a lot of Primitivo, which usually with low quality, bit of alcohol, a lot of fruit, but nothing complex. So when I actually arrived in Castel del Monte, this was suggested by my friend Piero Guido. Castel del Monte is one of the most fascinating and metaphysic monuments in the world, and in south of Italy. It was made by Federico II di Svevia in the 11th century. Technically is a mystical building that is supposed to connect the three religions, Hebrew, Jewish culture, Catholics, and Muslims. You have to understand at that time it was not easy actually to connect these three. So he was one of the few that tried to create a connection. And then you have a great variety. It's called the Nero di Troia, black from Troy. The name might suggest you that possibly this great variety was coming from during the Greek colony 2,800 years ago. And then you have a wine that, again, I love when in south of Italy, as I said about Marabino, Pierpaolo Messina, you have wines like in Vulture, for example, with Arteteche, Marabino, this one here, that are not overly concentrated. On the color, they look slightly lighter, on the palate, they're not too heavy, and they actually get more on the elegance and the complexity of the elegance and then the thickness. There is a huge misunderstanding with the concept of boldness in wine. Especially in the 80s and 90s, arrived at this trend that we are actually submitted by this trend of having wines that were really rich. It's bold, so it means that it's complex. No, bold might mean heavy. I used to say it's the difference between a quality Fellini movie or a special effect movie. A Marvel movie, it seems that a lot of things are happening, but maybe it's a bit boring. In a Fellini movie, less things are happening, but there's a bit more quality. It's just a simple concept of aesthetics, getting for quality and not for quantity. Nero di Troia is exactly like this. It's a cooler climate comparing to the lower area of San Severo. So we're talking about higher hills. I remember I was there and by the sea, there was 10 degrees of difference from that area and a few kilometers, not so from the Castel del Monte. Pietra dei Lupi means the stones of the walls. So here you have some ancient trulli, which are actually even older. I'll show you too in the video. These trulli are this little house that looks like something coming from Lord of the Rings. Is actually an ancient, way of making houses from the 15th century. But this ultra probably even older. And Pietra dei Lupi means that you have this little house, as they explained in the video. They used to live there. Then there were the animals, and then there were these old walls that had the stones for the wolves. The wolves, in order to avoid the wolves to eat the sheep that were inside the area. You have this animal, a bit horse type of flavor on the nose, a bit of a spice, with this nice little strawberry and bit cherry flavor on the palate. It's a beautiful, elegant wine that should go with some light game, some duck breast.